Hello everyone, welcome back. We'll continue our discussion on creating 3D models or 3D solids in AutoCAD. In the last session, we have seen how we can create some standard objects or 3D models of some standard objects in AutoCAD, and also we have seen three important comments related to creation of solids in AutoCAD, that is extrude, revolve, and sew. Right. So today we will start with solid editing, that is how to make complex solids by using the standard objects which we can create in AutoCAD, or the objects which we have created using one of these comments. Like, I mean, in fact, I ask you to check on loft, and if you have any doubt in understanding the concept on loft, you can always discuss on that one, so that I can have a separate session on loft. Okay, fine. So let us move to AutoCAD environment and see what this basic 3D editing is, or like I can say that what are the comments or the techniques what we can use for solid editing, right? We have three important solid editing tools here, and although we have a lot of other tools, but I'll be focusing only on these three because these are very important, and I mean others maybe later you can explore the other options or other comments or other facilities available in AutoCAD. So this is union, and you may be familiar with the word union. Like if you want to combine two solid models together and make it as one, then we can use this union. And then we have something called subtract. Subtract is to subtract an object from another object. So for example, if you want to make a hole in any of the solid model which you have created, then you will have to create a model which is corresponding to this hole, and you need to subtract that solid from the original solid. And anyway, I'll demonstrate these things. And then third one here is like intersect. Like you want to, if you want to create the object which is intersection of two or three objects, or even I mean any number of objects. So ultimately we'll be getting something like that. So first let us see how we can use this union, that is to club two objects together. So in the last session we had created some soup, so I'll be using the same soup command here. So I'm starting soup command by typing soup. Okay, so this is my profile. Okay, I'm just select enter. Okay, I got an object like this. And one thing which I would like to discuss in between is, see, when I had created this soup object or this solid, the original profile which I used, that is remaining here. It is not deleted, right? In certain cases, you may not require the original profile here. You want to remove that one. So we have a system variable which is called this delete object, for which is del obj, and this del obj takes different values, and depending upon the value in del obj, it will retain or delete the profile and the path which we use for creating the objects. And delete object, this system variable is applicable for most of the cases, like if you are creating region from some objects. So what we need to do with the original objects, that is what is controlled by this del obj system variable. You can just try various values for that one, and then if you have any doubt you can discuss on that one. So I'm not going to discuss those in detail, because our primary agenda here is to study solid editing, and one important comment, that is plus pull. Okay. So now I have one object here. Now I'll have one more let us say I can have a cylinder. Fine, I'll have a cylinder, and you can see that my UCS is world UCS now. That XY it is parallel to my keyboard, I can say. So I'm just starting maybe with this as center, something like this. Okay, okay, right. Now you can see that there are two objects in my drawing, and these two objects are two different objects, like this one object and this is another object, right? So the selection is coming because I'm selecting somewhere near to this one, near to the other solid also. So also not solid, in fact the polyline, like now that is the path also is there. So to have multiple like now to decide like which I want solid, so that solid is selected. Okay, so we have a solid here and another solid here. So suppose if you want to join these two things, at present these two objects are separate entities. So if you want a complex object with these two objects together, then you can use this union command. So you can click here or you can type union, UNION, press enter. Then it will ask all the subjects, or sorry, all the objects to be clubbed together. Okay, I did select those things and then press enter. Now this you can see it's a single object. See, when I'm selecting, I'm getting a single object. If I delete that, the entire object is gone, right? So this is about union, or we can add a number of objects together and create a complex object, right? Now we'll see what is subtraction. So again, I'll use sweep command, the same type of figure I will create. Okay, sorry, solid model I will create. Now I have this one. Again, I'll have a cylinder, and I'll start the center from somewhere here. Okay, I have something like this, right? Yeah. Now I have something like this. So what I want is I want a hole through this cylinder, which is in this shape. So I have an object like this. See, in this shape, I want a hole inside this cylinder. So for that, I am subtracting this object from this object. Okay. So this is subtract option. So this time I will click here. So I'm selecting the subtract object. I'm selecting the subtract command. So first what we need to do is we need to select the object from which we need to subtract something. Okay, so this is the object. Okay, sorry. From this we need to subtract the other one. So I completed a selection of that one. So I'm pressing enter. Now I will select the object which is to be subtracted. So I select that one again, this one. Okay, so to complete all the selection, I will press enter. You can see that that object is removed, and if you rotate and see the you can see a hole inside, right? So this is how we can subtract and create some hole or some other. Now, if you want to have an intersection, like if you want to, then also you can use this command, like a solid editing command. So if you want to have like I'll draw a cone also here, right? Starting from that, okay, anyhow, starting from the 32. Okay, right. And I want the object be the intersection of this and this, like these two objects. So you can have this intersection command, then you can select the objects which you want and then press enter. Now you can see you got an object which is the intersection of both the objects what we have selected, right? So these are the three basic solid editing commands, and we do have certain other commands also, like interfere, then slice, then separate. Like if you have two object, right? And then if you want to separate that one, you can use this separate. So those things you can try out. But for the normal drawing, like preparing the normal 3D models, these three commands are sufficient. Okay, so that is about solid editing. Now we'll see another interesting command which is called press pull, which by which you can create solid models very easily. Okay, so here in this case also we need a basic drawing in 2D, and which can be pressed to create solid objects, or sorry, pulled to create some object, or pressed to remove some object for that one. Okay, so I will demonstrate that one. See, the press pull command is here, or you can type press pull. So for demonstrating that one, I'll be drawing something here. So first I will go to the plan view so that I can draw it conveniently. See, the plan view means we'll be looking this from the top, right? Because this is the world UCS. You can see this X and Y here. Okay, to get the plan view, I'm typing plan. Then it will ask from which UCS. The current UCS and world UCS are same here. So I'll have use it world UCS. So okay, so here I'm going to draw something. Like I'll just start a polyline. Okay, just some arbitrary figure, and I'll make it arc. I have some other arc here. I'll move to line here. I'll close it here, right? One I have something. Now maybe I'll try again. One here, arc, and this line, and this, close it here. And in fact I want a hole at the center, so I just create this some random figure. I just want to show all the details, right? Okay, now I have some figure here, and I want to okay, here something. So I want to create a solid model out of that. So I'm just tilting my view, so that you can see the third dimension also, the Z direction also. Now you can see that the figure is here, the base is here. Now I want to give this a third dimension to create a 3D solid. Okay, so I'm using this press pull command. See, when you use the press pull command, you can go and select the bounded area, like this inside area. See, when I keep my mouse here, you can see that this inside area is selected. See, if I go and keep here, that bounded area is selected. So as I want this portion, I'll go and click here, then I can give the extrusion height, right? So automatically that area is extruded. Again, if I want this one, you can see that hole is there, only that bounded area will be selected, and that will be object created. And you can see here these two objects are two different objects. These two solids are two different objects, right? So like this you can use press pull to extrude something or to create a solid model. Also, press pull has got a facility wherein you can remove some material also, right? For example, I just want to make a hole here, right? Here, which will be passing through these two objects, right? And now you can see that there are two objects here, this one and this one. Okay, so I'm drawing on this face a circle. I'll be drawing, and I will be using press pull to create a hole. Let us see, we need to understand a couple of more things that I'll. Okay, so now I'm starting to draw a circle, and I can draw this on this circle because I made this UCS detect as on, or that variable is given the value as 1. So if I want to draw on a particular face, I don't have to redefine my UCS, right? So we'll have a UCS. You can see, if you notice here, when I reaches here, it comes, the name of the UCS comes unnamed here. So I can draw on the faces if I want, right? Because the UCS detect is set to 1. Okay, so now I'm going to draw here. See, if I draw with it in the same layer with the same color, it will not be visible. So what I will do is, I will just uh, select these two solids and change its layer, so that property is changed. Okay, now these two solids are in my layer, which is named as solid. Okay, now my current layer is construction, so I'm going to select here. Fine, I got a circle here. Now I will use press pull to remove this circle, or a solid which will be created by extruding this circle from the object. So I'm using this press pull. Select this. Complete the process. You can just see what is happening. See, a hole has been created. But also you can notice that the hole is created, but it is not reaching the other side, right? Yeah, you can guess why it is, because we are having two solids here. This is one solid, this is another solid. So I have used this press pull. When I use this press pull, I am removing only from the object, one object, not from the other two. So what if you want to remove it from both the things? I'll show it again. I will undo this press pull. So before using the press pull command, what I will do, I will union these two and make it as a single solid, right? At present it is two different solids, so I will use union command. Then this one, select this one, right? Now we have these two as my single object. Now again I will repeat the press pull command. So I'll select this one, enter, so that everything is complete. Now if you go here, you can see we got a true hole. So if you want to remove it from all the objects, then you need to union that and make it one object, so that it will. Okay, so this tool is very powerful. In fact, like this press pull, I mean, most of the objects, like simple objects, like if it has got too many things, and you can just draw the plan of that one, or even the corresponding view, like either file view or second view, and then you can just a minute, have a call. Okay, so sorry, in between I had a call, I had to attend that one. So I almost finished this session. So we are discussing about press pull. So by using this press pull, you can create, or it's a very powerful facility, and you can create a number of different types of objects or solids by using this press pull. So combining this press pull, sweep, revolve, even extrusion, we can basically do with press pull. So combining press pull, sweep and revolve, most of the cases, most of the objects what we want, we will be able to create, or solid model will be created. So this is like creating 3D solids is not as much complicated as, or even 2D is not complicated, but you need to have the basics of 2D drawing, because here even if you want to extrude, revolve, or even press pull, you are using the 2D drawing, right? So we'll be preparing the base 3D drawing, and from that we will be creating, or we'll be giving the third dimension, and we'll be creating the solid model. So hope all those things are clear to you, and maybe in the next session we'll see some general editing, like not specific editing related to 3D. We can use a majority of the 2D commands like move, copy, and other things in 3D, but we have a specific version of 3D move then 3D rotation and all those things. So we'll see those things in the next session, and after that we'll take some 3 or 4 solid models, and we'll create solid models, and then if you practice those things, I think you'll have adequate skill set to develop 3D solid models. Okay, then thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed creating 3D solids in this manner. So with that, I'm concluding this session, and stay home, stay safe, and if you have, as always, if you have any doubt or any clarifications are required, just do contact me through any of the means. Okay, then, thank you, bye.